quickly trace back down to the order book, then that price is going to be bullish.
Point sort of chasing the market. I was more than happy to stay flat.
Hello everyone.
What the kangaroo tell?
Always recommend trading on the 5 minute.
Some of these exotic pairs and pretty steady uptrend, making these higher highs and higher.
Mostly trend following the stimulus in a certain way. Hey, Lins, I think you got your mic muted.
Thank you. Sorry about
Hello,
that.
audience. Sorry.
All right. Sorry about that, Chad. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So the reason I was looking down when I first entered the stream here is because I'm currently in this sell as we speak. I put a little trailing stop here because I'm not going to be able to pay attention to it and explain at the same time. So I'm actually just going to close it out here. There we go. All right. So I closed it out here. So I'm going to be going over this move. All right. So earlier today, as you know, we had some volatile news on GBP. We had some red folders going on here. So this moved the charts very, very heavily. Now, I was expecting to trade the news. However, when I came over to the charts today, I'm going to put this in replay mode just so you can see what I'm talking about. This big candle right here. When I came over to the charts today, looking at the way the news was yesterday, because it was good news yesterday, I thought that it may go up, right? So I wasn't really sure where it was going. So that is why I did not take an impulse entry here. So I do want to show you how you could have caught this move today if you did it the right way, right? So we want to go before the news drops. All right, there we go. So if we check out 7:45, right? So if we go back here, the news dropped at 8 o'clock. So this is 15 minutes before. Okay, so if you're looking at the 15-minute candle, you know, we do have, I'm going to use my little brush right here. We do have support right here as much as we have resistance up here, right? Let me just mute my phone. Okay, so if we're looking for buy stops and sell stops, it would be smart to put them, you know, below this zone or above this zone, right? You don't want to have a buy stop or a sell stop on a candle, right? You're not going to put a pending order in the middle because it just wouldn't make sense. You know what I mean? The point of a pending order is for price to open it if price goes into your favor, right? You don't want price to open up your sell stop if it's a buy, right? Because then you're losing, right? So let's put a buy stop above here. Okay, and this is before the news drops. Remind you, we're just playing it back as if it didn't happen yet, right? We're going to put a buy stop here. So this is a pending order, right? So we're saying, hey, you know, if price goes up, enter me in at the market at this price, right? And the same thing happens right here, right? So we're going to put a sell stop around here. And let me just copy this. Oops. And we're going to say sell stop, right? And I'm just giving you an idea of how you could enter this, because remember, the market is very volatile at this time of news. So it moves very fast, right? You may not be able to just press the sell button or press the buy button when it happens, because it's just going to move fast. All right, so that's why you need these pending orders. Also, the spread is going to be very high. All right, so let's put this in play. Let's put this on the 5-minute here. All right, we have our buy stops ready. We have our sell stops ready. Let me just delete these X's. Right, that was just an example. Let's see what happens when the news drops. So here comes 8 o'clock. Bang. Okay, so check me out here. Oops. Check me out here. What do you see? You see that price came down and opened up your sell stop, right? Now, what happened to our buy stop? Well, our buy stop was up here. So because price never came up to here, price never opened up your buy stop. So you're good. You did not lose, right? So what you want to always remember to do, rookie mistake, delete your buy stop. Because some people, you know, they're like, oh, it didn't get open, and they go about their day, but you still have a pending order open. So you want to make sure you delete it. All right. So now we're in this sell, right? And now just look at this 5-minute candle. From this point on to the body, you're up 49 pips. That's basically 50 pips, right? That's insane. You know, and that's just all from you putting in a sell stop. You know what I'm saying? You know, you let your money work for you. Let the news work for you. So again, I did not take this trade because I was pretty unsure of where the market was going to go. Sometimes I have a good feeling on where the news was going to go. This time I didn't. So that is why I just decided to just watch it. You know, that's just personal choice for mine. And if we go down to the wick here on the 5-minute candle, it did go down 60 pips. All right. So let's say, okay, let's say you're in this sell stop, right? And it's 5 minutes. So mind you, you know, in 5 minutes, you have plenty of time to put a trailing stop in place, right? You have plenty of time to say, okay, I want to put a trailing stop right here. You know, you have plenty of time to do that. So then we can take away our risk, right? And we can say, okay, this is a trailing stop. So now it becomes a risk-free trade, right? And the news is volatile, so you never know. It may continue tanking. It may come back up. But either way, you secured the bag, right? Either way, you're secured. So let's just say you put it, okay, this is what, 16, 17 pips in profit. All right, letting your money work. So let's put it in play. What happens next? All right, looks like we're continuing. What happens next? Check this out. Price, even though it came back up here, price continued to fall. Okay, so, you know, once you've seen price coming up right about here, maybe you would have closed your trade, or maybe you would have moved your stop loss down. I don't know. It's up to you. But the point is the way you could have caught this very, very high volatile news today is using pending orders. All right. I see your Rages. I see you, Shannon, KP, Sony, Odd Wave, Sean. I see everyone in the chat. Welcome, welcome. Moonsy's always here. Phil, George, Alex, Darius, Danny. I see everyone. And everyone else, if I didn't say your name, hello. All right. So that's how we would have caught it. So now I'm going to put it on the 15-minute, and I'm going to show you what happened next here. So if we go next, you know, price started to climb up a little bit. So we said, okay, is it going to consolidate? Do we wait for a break? You know, that's what we were looking at next on my stream earlier. All right. And as you can see, we got a break here. So I'm going to show you this. So this is another move you could have did. Again, I did not take this impulse entry, but for educational purposes, I'm going to show you why I didn't do it. So typically I would put a zone here, right? I'd put a zone here and I'd say, okay, let me wait for price to break the zone, right? Technically, price went on top of the zone, right? But if I delete my zone and I just put a line here, right? If I just put a line here, look, price technically did close below, right? If we're zooming in here, it did close below. So, you know, I'm not going against my rules per se, but, you know, just by us sitting here and doing a little back testing, we're like, okay, maybe we don't have to use our zones all the time. Maybe we can pay attention to detail and we can use these lines as supports, right? Because like I said, this candle did close below. So by my rules, after I get it closed below, I do wait for that next candle. This next candle showed us a wick rejection to the top side and it started pushing down. Okay, so this would have been a really, really good entry here. I'm just going to mute my my Discord here because I see it keeps popping up. Sorry about that. Here you go. All right, so like I said, this wick up rejection and then push to the downside, this would have been a really, really good impulse entry to continue into the downside here. So let's say we did do that, right? Let's say I stuck to my rules. You know, let's say I did do it. Because again, you know, I was staying out the market a little bit here at first because the news is volatile. We would have had a 5 pip stop loss, right? Because stop loss is above this candle. I always talk about going for 10 pips. 10 pips is right here, okay? So hypothetically, you would have gotten your 10 pips, all right? And on top of that, you might have got more than that. You know, you see how it wicked down here? So it would have worked out for us. All right, so let's put this in play. That next candle came right back up. All right, so I'm going to show you one more time. Look at how this candle forms, right? Look at how it forms. Ready, set. You see how it was pushing down like that? You see how it was like a wick rejection at first and it was pushing down? That was when I took another entry. So that was when I did take an entry, unfortunately. So I took an entry and then I didn't like the way it was moving. I seen it kind of pushing up, so I closed it. I closed it 5 pips in profit, right? And then I took another entry on the next candle here. And, you know, for me, it was risk-free, but I ended up getting stopped out. So it was risk-free because the risk was 5 pips. But, you know, nonetheless, it was right here. So what happened was I took an entry on this next candle, okay? And basically my stop loss was right here. And during the formation, I took this on the 5-minute, by the way. This is the 15-minute. I took it on the 5-minute. But during the formation of this next 15-minute candle, see how the wick came up to here? So my stop loss was here, so I got wicked out here because I had a 5 pip stop loss. So I was up 5 pips, down 5 pips. So we're at break even. You know, I'm at break even now, so that's fine. But, you know, I'm just going over this and saying, okay, what could I have done better? And just looking at this, what I could have done better was entering right here when this closed below this low, and then that next candle showed us that it was pushing down, that bearish momentum right here. This would have been the golden entry. All right, and that's just based off of going back and, you know, checking over what you do, you know. All right, so let's continue this. Let's continue this. Now, price did continue to the downside, by the way. It did continue. So looking at consolidation again, let's just delete this. If we're looking at consolidation again, I see we have a support here. And I see, let me just copy this. And I see a resistance here, right? So, you know, to me, looking at zones, this candle, right, this bearishing off right here, this candle closed below this zone, right? What the next candle do? Wicked up, rejection, push to the downside, all right? Now, would have that been a good entry? Yeah, because look at what the next candle did, all right? So we always talk about these wick down rejections. Take an impulse entry here, right? Stop loss could have been here. And again, I did not take this move. But this is something I could have took. At the time, this is 9:30. So at the time, I was on gold. I was looking at gold. So I completely missed this entire move here. Talk about going for 10 pips. Look at where 10 pips is. Look at that. So look at all this extraness you could have made. Look at this. Crazy. About 18 pips, I believe. Oh, 21 pips. My fault. 21 pips. Hey, you know, that could have been my bread and butter for the day, you know. So, you know, every day I do like to go over what moves I missed, what moves I could have got. You know, you want to make it a habit, you know, because that's how you get better. You know, what could I have done here? So again, looking at this, just to sum it up, a closure up here would have been a good entry. Waiting for this break below this zone would have been a better entry. Seems like 21 pips. And I'm going to just put it back live. Okay, looking at it live right now. Look at it live right now. Wow. You know, and me entering my second entry, remember, was on this candle because I believed it was going to heavily push down here, especially with 9:30 open coming up. I really thought it was going to push down. I was right on my predictions, but I was wrong with my entries and my stop loss. You see that? So you can be right on your predictions, but you could be wrong at your entries and your stop loss. And that's something very, very important to recognize. Okay. So nonetheless, you know, we win some, we lose some. It's all good. So I'm going to move on to gold. All right. And I'm going to show you what gold's going to do. But before we do that, I just want to measure from this candle how deep this is right now. This is currently 35 pips deep. Wow. It could have been 35 pips deep. So that's tough. You know, that's tough. Oh my goodness. Look at gold now. Those of you who were on my stream earlier, we were waiting for this. We were literally waiting for this. We were talking about this before we ended it. Look at it now. And I put a line here. I said, okay, it should get up to this level. That's why this line is here. Look at it now. Of course, we missed it, but it's all good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back and I'm going to show you what I saw right around here. Yeah. All right. So, you know, I kept saying, you know, let's wait for 930, right? 930, if you don't know, is NY. I can't even type. Look at this. Can't draw. NYSE. All right. NYSE is New York Stock Exchange Open. All right. So I was expecting it to be volume because number one, we had this news at 8 o'clock. Gold barely did anything. Number two, we had USD was just, at first it was strong and then it started to become weak. And number three, we had unemployment claims. So what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of things affecting the US dollar today. All right. And if the US dollar is being affected, then gold's going to be affected because that's how gold works. It operates off of the dollar. So I knew if we didn't get a big break earlier, I mean, don't get me wrong, we were moving to the top side here. But if we didn't get a big break earlier, I knew we were going to go up. Right. So remember, when you see the charts consolidate, here's a little tip for you. When it consolidates for a while, there's going to be a breakout. All right, there's always going to be a breakout if it's been consolidating for a while. So putting my cursor here, it started consolidating at 850. And man, we were just sitting here and, you know, time is like watching paint dry. You know, we're sitting here, it's 9:27. I'm like, okay, 9:30 is coming up. We should be getting a break here. So I'm going to put it in play. So what I did was I waited for that 9:30 candle to close because I said, wait, let me just see what direction this wants to go, just in case I'm wrong in my prediction. So this is what 9:30 did. Literally that. That's what it did. Nothing. All right, let's check out the next candle. It came down. It touched the bottom of the trend line. But guess what? It never broke the trend line. Right? It did not break the trend line. Now let's see what the next candle did. Here's my impulse entry. Bang. That's why I took an impulse entry. All right. I took an impulse entry at the break right here. Literally exactly on this breakout. All right. I put my stop loss and profit and I was good. You know, it ended up coming back down and retesting first, but that's okay. Should I have waited? I probably should have waited, but I'm going to tell you why I didn't wait. If you go back and back test this news, this candle is like a rocket ship bullet around this time. If you go back and back test it, you know, so what I was expecting was for this 1 5-minute candle, just on the 5-minute, I was expecting it to shoot straight to here in one shot. Literally in one shot. I was expecting it to just go poof. All right. So a lot of people in my chat were talking about, oh, the liquidity grab. Yeah, that happens. But if you go back and back test this news, you will see every single time this news dropped, it rocket shipped. You know, so I was expecting it to full on rocket ship without even, you know, coming back down for liquidity, but that's not what happened. So, you know, I did get a little profit here, but I do wish that, you know, I hop back in here. So as you can see, it did come back down, right? So price, it looked like it was a fake out. It came back down to this line. And then what did it do? It completely exploded. Check this out. Bang. So right here, I have a bank zone set, right? That's what that black line is. That black line is a bank zone. So we closed above the bank zone. And I do have a video on bank zones. We closed above the bank zone here, right? So by rules of my bank zone strategy that I created here, you know, you can take an impulse entry to the next bank zone, right? Based off of what that next candle does. Mind you, we're 40 pips away. 40 pips is a lot. You know, we're not talking about no baby 10 pips, 5 pips. We're talking 40 pips. All right, so I'm going to show you the next candle. Again, we missed this move. This happened at 10 o'clock. We were setting up here on stream. It's all good, though. But this is the move I was waiting for. This is exactly what I was waiting for. And here we go. Shot up 24 pips. And I'm just put it live where it is right now in real time. All right, it didn't get all the way up there. But like I said, I was expecting for this to be some type of breakout here. So that total breakout is about 50 pips as expected. All right, so it's all good. But, you know, I'm just showing you the moves that I missed, you know. So, again, we did get a little piece of this pie, but it's all good. It's all good. You know, gold's been moving bullish all morning. So, you know, it is what it is. So I'm going to delete that. GU, I didn't look at GU today. The reason I didn't look at GU today was because unemployment claims was at 8:30 and the GBP news was at 8 o'clock. So I didn't want to take a trade on GBP pairs at 8 o'clock and then have USD unemployment news come through half hour later and maybe mess with my trades. That's why I kind of stuck to GJ today. You know, because sometimes news can intertwine with each other, you know, so that is the reason for that. But if you just want to back test a GU, you know, it's the same thing. You know, the news candles was obviously this candle at 8 o'clock. All right, so let's just measure out this news candle. Very, very volatile. 82 pips. 82 pips. And remember, this news, you know, it happens all the time. You know, that's why it's important to stay woke on the news. You know, if we're just taking basic support, I mean, the support was broken here. You could have put your sell stop somewhere around this area. You know, we had resistance around this area. You could have put a buy stop above that candle, of course. You don't want to put it on the candle. You know, so, you know, it's kind of like the same strategy here. You could have did that as well. All right, so let's put this back live. And then just looking at price action here, like where could we have gotten in an entry, right? Where could we have gotten an entry? Well, looking at this, I'm just going to replay it some. Looking at this, we had price start to pull up right here, right on this blue candle. Okay. Then it came down, right? It came down to this area. I don't know if you can see that wick. Then it started to pull up, right? So when we think about a Fibonacci, remember a Fibonacci is to hop into a continued trend, right? So you got to take the high and the low point. So looking at this, this was the high because this is where price was, right? Price came up to here. It came down. And where did it go before it bounced back up? Well, it went right here before it bounced back up, right? So this is your high and this is your low. All right, so let's take the high and the low. So I'm going to take my fib. I'm going to click on that high, right? And I'm just going to drag this out just so you can see it. But the low is going to be right here that I click on. All right, let's line that up. So what we're looking for is we're looking for this to continue down, right? But we're looking for a pullback. We're looking for a sniper entry. So with the Fibonacci, you know, typically your retracement zones are in the golden zone, right? So I made this gold so you can see it on stream here. These two are the golden zones. Sometimes it does come up to this 0.78 level as well. So, you know, you got to be careful. You got to watch out. So let's see. Will price come up to the golden zone? Now you see on this candle, price already tapped the 0.5 zone right here. It already tapped the retracement zone. All right, so let's see what the next candle does. You know, you can watch this on the 5-minute as well if it makes you more comfortable. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, let's watch it on the 5-minute. Okay, so we do see that price came up to here, then it came back down. Let's look at it on the 15. Now, if you're looking at it on the 15, which I would advise, why? Because you placed it on the 15, right? So you want to look at this where you placed it on. If you placed it on the 5-minute, then look at it on the 5-minute. But if you place the fib on the 15, look at the 15. If you place the fib on the hour, look at the fib on the hour. You know what I mean? Try to keep it consistent. All right, so check this out. That next candle said, we're coming back up. All right, but look, we still never broke up out of here. So that tells me we still have a chance to be retracing, right? Price never broke up out of the fib and went up. So we could still be doing a pullback. All right, so let's concentrate on this area. We are in the golden zone currently. Let's see what happens. Let's put it in play. Bang. Now what do you see? Looking like some tweezer tops. right? It's looking like tweezer tops, right? So we have tweezer tops right here. Not really. I would actually, you know, I wouldn't use those as tweezer tops. They're a little bit of a distance there, but this is pretty close to tweezer tops. All right, just like this is close to this is tweezer bottoms. All right, same old, same old. If you don't know what tweezer tops and tweezer bottoms are, they are reversal candles. They move in the opposite. So we have this bearish engulfing in the golden zone. We're on a downtrend, right? If we take our cursor, it looks like price came up, came down, came up, came down, right? What do we see here? Like a sideways double top, right? Double top is an indication of a downtrend. We see price make, you know, this was a high, right? So we see price make a lower high, okay? So looking at that, that tells me price wants to continue down, right? How many confirmations do we need, right? That's what that tells me. So, you know, taking an impulse entry here, you know, maybe, you know, since this is support, we can't ignore this is support. Maybe when this candle broke, right? Maybe you could took an impulse entry here and put your stops above these wicks, right? Above that high here. And this is the suggested TP on the fib, but you know, you're going to have to look left and find your own zones, you know? So if we could do that real quick, just hop onto the hourly. If we do that real quick, you know, price has this clean move down to here. So I'm just going to take that resistance, drag it over. All right. Now let's hop back onto the 15. So now instead of using the TP on the fib, I'm using this. So I'm going for 55 pips. All right, let's put this in play. Okay. All right. So now, you know, price is moving in your favor. So now you want to take that risk away, right? And, you know, you could put your trailing stop at break even for all I care. You know what I'm saying? You can do that. You can continue down. All right. Now look at where we're at right now. Look at where that move is right now. You may not be at your 55 pips, but you sure as hell went down to 40 pips. That's pretty close, you know, 40 pips. All right. So, you know, I'm just giving you ideas of different things that you could have done today. You know, it is important to go back on the charts to say, okay, what could I have done differently? What did I miss? What did I not see while it was live? You know what I'm saying? So it is important to do that. And last but not least, we're going to talk about US30. It's the last pair we're going to talk about today. US30, this one's going to be quick because guess what? Check out the hourly. Check it out. All right, it really didn't do anything but consolidate. You know, it literally just consolidated. All right, you do see this wick right here. I'm assuming this is 9:30. Well, I've been looking at it. Let's see. 9 o'clock it says. So let's see what that was. 9:30. I was right. It was 9:30. Wow. All right, so let's say we thought US30 was going to do something at 9:30 because it didn't do nothing all day, right? Just like gold, it was, you know, consolidated. Kind of looks like a head and shoulders, huh? Doesn't it look like a little head and shoulders here? Just a little bit. All right, well, let's put it on the 15-minute. Let's see. Based off of the price action rules, we have support here. We got a closure below right here. All right, so impulse entry would be on that next candle if the next candle shows us bearish momentum, right? So let's see what that next candle does. Bang. Ooh, whoa. That would have been trippy. I'm sure this tripped a lot of people out because check this out. Yeah, it moved down kind of quickly, but listen, it wicked up. All right, 31 pips. It wicked up 31 pips. So this would have been a risky move. You know, this would have been a risky move. It did go down 60 pips, but it would have been a risky move. So, you know, by the way, it was moving today. Honestly, you know, I don't like consolidation. I call it Wick City. It's a term I made up myself, Wick City. So when I see Wick City, I always say my rules, I stay away from it. You know, I stay away from it because that's how I used to lose. So with that said, you know, I wasn't best buddies with US30 today, but it's all good. I'm going to read the chat now to see if you have any questions for me before we end the stream here. Let me know if you have any questions. Try to get through them the best that I can. Make sure to drop a like. Thanks, Oddwave. Appreciate that. I see you, Rages. Let's see. Crazy for NFP tomorrow. Yeah, so those of you who don't know, tomorrow is NFP. It's the most volatile news of the month, of every month, right? So NFP is going to be crazy. You know, if you haven't traded it before, I recommend that you just watch. Definitely don't hop into that because you can empty your account. So if you're not experienced, it is your best bet to just watch and see what happens, you know. Gold's getting strong rejection. Resistance of them. Not around tomorrow. Is there education at the weekend? Not sure yet. Not sure yet. If I'm gonna do back, you're asking if I'm doing back testing on the weekend again? Maybe. I may do it. I'm not sure. I'll probably be announcing it tomorrow in the Discord. Any other questions? Any other questions? Y'all good? Did y'all learn anything? No, I think we're all set here. All righty then. I really appreciate y'all coming out. Seriously, really do appreciate that.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching today's stream. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. And hey, before you go, make sure to check out our guest on social media, as well as subscribe to the A1 Trading YouTube channel for more free trading content throughout the week. Before we go, I do also want to say down below in the description, there's all sorts of great perks for you if you're looking for a broker. We've got some recommended brokers. We've also got a Telegram channel and email newsletter that you would probably benefit from if you're an aspiring trader. So take advantage of some of that free stuff down below. It will also help out the channel tremendously, and we will see you back tomorrow.